everybody! This week I'm going to talk to you about my experience with Duolingo while learning Korean. I used Duolingo for 30 days to learn Korean, and this is what I thought. There are a few pros and cons. Let's start with the bad and then work our way to the good. Cons. I hate the romanization of the characters. The way that they make you learn the characters with romanization and robotic voices is not, it doesn't work for me. When Duolingo reads the Korean out loud, it's not a real person talking. It's a machine, and you can tell. And this also makes the pronunciation of the individual letters so weird. So very, very odd. My biggest question is, why can't you learn the characters with sounds rather than with romanization? And I think the answer to that question is Duolingo relies on robots speaking rather than actual people speaking. If they had people enunciating the sounds of the vowels, it would be easier to learn with those sounds rather than with the romanization. I get why they've chosen these words, but the beginning words are so awkward. Why do I need to learn I have a fox's cornea? In what world is that a sentence I need to know? There are a few grammatical points that just aren't correct. In Korean, you can drop particles, like your subject or your topic or your object marking particles, as long as everybody knows what the conversation is about. You can just drop those. If it's clear in the sentence, you can drop those. But certain particles can't be dropped. The particles for location can't really be dropped. The particles for time can't really be dropped. The endings for verbs, they aren't particles, they're conjugations. Those also can't be dropped. For whatever reason, Duolingo doesn't follow this. When answering questions in long form in Duolingo, you have to remember the subject and topic particles, but you don't need, and in fact you're not taught, the location particle, which is odd. It takes way too long to master the characters. Way too long. I think I worked on this 20 minutes every day for 30 days. I did not master a single character. I started from the beginning to understand what it would be like to learn from the beginning, and boy was I frustrated. I think you have to give Duolingo more than 30 days in order to actually come up with something that you can use in a conversation or even claim to say that you know Korean. Now, on to the likes. It only takes a few minutes every day. From 5 minutes if you need to do it really quickly, to an hour if you have time to kill. Sometimes I did it while I was on the toilet because, you know, that happens sometimes. The app will remind you incessantly to practice. Now, some people might find this annoying. Some others might even find it a little bit sinister. But the fact that it reminds you means that you're thinking about it every day, which is actually pretty good. Technically, you can learn for free, but ads and the number of lives that you have might start to get annoying and might prevent you from wanting to get back onto the app. Both the desktop and the mobile app versions work well, and the Apple version and the Samsung version are approximately equivalent. I personally preferred to learn with Duolingo on my Samsung smartphone. And I really like that even if I hate the way it does it, it tries to teach you Hangul. It doesn't just send you straight in with the words. It tries to introduce you to the letter alphabet system just a little bit, and I do appreciate that. Now about how I learned with Duolingo. When you're working with Duolingo, you can always test your level and see where it puts you. What I chose to do, because I'm doing this for you guys and not for me, is start from the very beginning and work my way up. After about 30 days, I had finished one level and a little bit of a second level. So the going is slow. But if you're looking for that foundation, it might be a good place to go because it is free. Now, I think there might be a few other places that do it better, but if you like the gamify version of learning Korean, I think Duolingo basically has you covered there. The app itself makes a lot of sense. It takes you through step by step. There are even some grammar points that it shows you along the way. Overall, I think this is pretty good. I decided to pay for it because I didn't want to deal with lives and ads. Honestly, that's the only reason I paid for it. Overall, I think I like Duolingo, but I think I like it more for the Roman languages with the Roman alphabet. I've only used Duolingo for Spanish, French, and Korean, so I can only really speak on those. For Spanish and French, I feel like Duolingo did a really good job. For Korean, I'm not so sure. I think it could use a little bit of work, but if you're already using Duolingo for another language, I see no reason why you couldn't learn Korean with Duolingo. During this time period, I was also trying to learn Korean with Memrise, so there will be another video about me using Memrise for 30 days and how I did that, and I am also going to do another video about learning Korean with Talk to Me in Korean for 30 days. As well. Those aren't coming out until much later. I will link them down below when they are coming out, If there's another language learning app that you'd like me to try, let me know in the comments down below and I'll test it out for you. If you've used Duolingo and you have some other experience, let me know, and I will talk to you guys next time.